No. Let's do it again. Do it again. Leave. Go back to the waiting room.
Okay, hold on. All right, now we're gonna do this again.
Put the music, the waiting room music.
Waiting room music.
Okay, just give it a second to cook up a little bit.
Just a little.
We can't start like that.
Oh yeah, it was a little rough.
Okay, let's see. Here comes the cool part. There we go.
Now we're ready.
I can see James Groman jamming in the backstage. Oh shit! God damn, I wish you guys could see this.
Well, we have it recorded. That's all.
That's
that
true.
matters.
The green room is sick. Oh, don't break that thing. Don't you break that.
Are we ready now?
Wait, let's see. Cook it up. All right, now we're gonna fade to. Now what happened? Do you know what happened?
Intro.
Do you
Ready?
know what happened?
Yes.
Okay, let's go.
All right, ready. There we go. That was
That's
way
a
better.
proper intro.
That was way better.
It's worth to restart.
I agree. Why not restart?
When you think about it, like, why not? Like, we're the ones in charge.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares?
We
All
have-
of our friends are here. They understand.
Our friends are here. They know how we do things. Cheers.
Cheers.
To post St. Patrick's Day.
Posting.
Now, see, we should have a little music here.
Oh, we should have a little music.
But right
here.
there, you have it on the
Okay.
thing. No, right there right there on the slider. Turn that slider up. Watch. See?
Oh,
Okay.
I see what you're saying.
But you know what I'm saying? Like when we come in, we have a little bit there.
Yeah, exactly.
Sound check, everybody. Let us
Yeah,
know.
let us know. If it's too loud, just let us know in the chat. Because
Or if it's not loud enough. Like right now, we should have a little bit loudness.
to me, it seems okay, but I don't really know.
Because this is where we'll do show notes. You know what I'm saying? Like this is where the part where we'll say, "What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Attack." I'm Peter. Gavy's here hanging out. And tonight we have special guest James Groman, who has brought with him some of the best. What we have basically is the best PowerPoint anyone's ever seen.
It's a strong PowerPoint.
Yes, as far as PowerPoints go, this is it. If you're coming here to just imagine you're coming here for a PowerPoint.
Right.
It's gonna blow your socks off. It's gonna knock your socks off. No one blows your socks off.
You can
you
blow
imagine?
them off if they're really loose, like right, only hanging off the toe. You just blow them off.
Okay, so yeah, this is gonna be awesome. Essentially, what I was saying on Instagram Live a few seconds ago is that one of the cool parts about being an artist that has artist friends is that sometimes you get to see little sneak peeks of things that are in progress. And it's one of my favorite things about what I do. So one of the best things about the show, it turns out, is that sometimes they'll share that on the show publicly. And that's what tonight's talk with James is going to be about, is he's letting us show all the kick-ass stuff that's about to come out from him and a bunch of great companies. You're not going to believe it. It's the best of the best. So we're going to get to him in a second. Just before we get into that, though, quick reminder. We got a new T-shirt dropping tonight. We have a new T-shirt dropping tonight. In fact, whenever Locke wants to, Locke, I know you're listening. Whenever Locke wants to, just send us that link in Teams, and we'll put it in the chat. We don't have to like wait because there's enough for everybody.
Yeah.
So we'll put that link in the chat throughout the stream. And I never got you the image
Of what?
of the shirt.
I mean, I could pull it up real quick.
Okay, let me.
Is it hidden
It's in
or something?
Teams. No, it's in Teams with Locke.
Okay.
In Teams chat with
I'll
Locke.
put it up.
And so we'll have a rad new shirt tonight. Really rad. I'm really proud of it. And after that, once we bid adieu to our dear friend James, I'm going to get into a little carving and designing of a brand new image that is Taco-verse, not Taco-verse.
No, just taco.
Taco-verse, the new chalupa. This is a new Taco, not a new creature from Taco-verse, just an elaboration on one that you guys may have seen before. All right, so fun show. Fun show. All right,
Fun
cool.
show.
Yeah, Locke, if you're out there, let us know whenever you want to unlock the link.
I like how you did that.
Okay.
That's good. I'm trying to get that picture, so give me a second.
Okay.
I can only do so many things at the same time.
Okay. So then in other news, just so you know, we have a rad announcement this month. What week are we on right now? Let's see. I think it's next week.
Next week.
Next week. I can't say too much, but what I can't say, what happens when we go to this? We don't have music.
There you go.
Also, it's not on loop, but I put it on loop.
Apparently
All right,
it
we'll
didn't.
check in a second. So yeah, big announcement. It in a weird cavernous part of the internet, it got leaked, and I'm not gonna share the leak, but it is awesome, and it is gonna be big news. He sent the link, by the way.
Yeah, I got it.
And that will be next week. That's all I'm gonna say, and I'll talk more about it as we get closer to it. So, are we good?
I mean, I'm good if you're good.
What do we have the image up, ready to rock?
It's ready. Of the shirt?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you got the
ready.
link already too.
I have the link and I have the image.
So post
You
the
wanna-
link and
Yeah?
let everybody look at the same time if they want.
Here we go.
We'll show the shirt quickly, and then we'll bring James in.
It might have everybody in already, including
What do you-
James.
what do
If
you
I
mean?
go to the browser, they're going to see all of us.
Okay. I mean, just put the link first. He sent us the link.
Here's the link to the shirt, just in case you guys want to go check it out.
Boom.
Boom.
And then now let's go to it. And if James pops up, he pops up.
Yeah, for like 2 seconds. Let's just pretend he's not there for 2 seconds
All
to
right, go,
retain
go,
the mystery. To retain the mystery. Wait, where is he? No, cover your eyes.
There he is.
There we go.
All right, there you go. So this is it. We dropped a brand new shirt today featuring the artwork from last week? Yeah, last week's Mystery Print Party 2.
Yes,
Mystery Print Reveal Party 2.
correct.
Print Harder. I think that was the title.
Print harder.
Print
It was
harder.
print harder.
Yeah. And so the Warhog is on this shirt. So if you guys love the image of the Warhog and you couldn't get one because of wall space, or you're like, I'm not looking to get any more artwork right now, we slapped it on a shirt. We put the Japanese text for Kogeki on the bottom, which is attack. And then if you look very closely at the bottom corner, you'll see a new Attack Peter logo that we're playing with that I kind of dig, because sometimes I don't want to see the word Attack Peter on a shirt. Call me crazy. It's okay to like stealth it a little bit, but it still says ATK PTR. But it's just not Attack Peter. So just playing with it. I hope you guys dig it. But I love this shirt. It's got like basically like what I call the Mark Rothko composition. So if you don't know, Mark Rothko is like a famous painter who would do these gigantic, beautiful paintings of just color, juxtaposed one on top of the other. And so whenever I see that kind of composition, I call it the Rothko composition. Not that I should be associated with Rothko anyway, but it just reminds me of that.
No, but go ahead and
So we'll
go ahead and compare yourself anyway. He's
So
not
we'll-
listening.
So we'll show this again later in the stream, but let's bring in our dearest of dear friends,
Yes.
Mr. Jamothy Groman.
Jamesy.
James
like
is
that name. All right, here he is.
James is
I'm
short
gonna
for
try
Jamie.
to cue applause, but don't hate
Let's
me if
try
I
it.
mess it up. Ready?
Try
Here
it
we go.
now first.
Here we-
No, it's laughter. There it is. But you got to pump the volume on it.
Oh.
That's why.
But
Hype.
don't pump the volume on
It's
the
okay.
music too.
Just pump hype to bring him in.
Hype. Ready?
Yeah, go. Jay. Ready? Wait on.
I turned on the wrong thing. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
That's okay. Just let it go.
There it
James Groman.
Yay, we did
it.
I'm still seeing a T-shirt.
Because he's
Oh,
seeing.
because I'm sharing the screen with you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So-
Very cool.
So, what's up, dude? Let us
Hey,
know
I
when
hope
you can see the
Timothy-
stream. Jamothy.
If Timothy catches on out there, I'm gonna be really upset.
Is it true that Jim is short for James and James is short for Jamothy?
That's how it works, right?
That's a new one on me.
What's up, dude? Thanks so much for coming on. You were, by the way, just so you know, you are the first ever guest on my YouTube channel. Officially.
Yes, I remember. That was awesome.
9
I was
months
very-
ago. Yes, sir. You were very generous, and we got really into it. Talked a lot about your career and some of the kick-ass work you had done up to that point. And now, as a 2-time guest on Attack, you are what we call a friend of the show, James Groman.
All right.
You know what I'm
Once
saying?
again, very honored and appreciative.
No, we're honored.
Yeah,
I need
of
all the
course.
friends I can get.
That's what I say all the time. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I hope these people are still my friends after all this. Well, dude, look at this right here, hanging out. My mascot for the night is the the BC Blaster. I don't know if you can see it
It's
yet.
so small on my screen, I'm not sure what I'm looking at.
Oh well, you gave me a gift of a BC Blaster, And it was I painted it orange. It was purple
There
originally,
you go. Yeah.
but I painted it orange to be on brand with the show and the branding. But I love this thing. I always have it handy, and so he's gonna be here, set up with us to accompany us to give us good juju, as they say. Because we talked about this last time for a second. You and I have this in common: toys and our collection of toys. We said this last time. They kind of like spark that creativity in us, and it's not just like a collector who just wants to have lots of toys. That's cool, but there is something different, at least for me, and you spoke to this, that picking up a different toy every once in a while kind of like ignites a spark of like, oh, this is so cool, now I gotta go make something. Is that still true for you?
It is definitely true. And the thing is, in the last few years, though, I've become very selective. And I think I've said it in the past, is like partly because I'm running out of room, but partly because not everything, there's so much stuff that just looks like something else. Or how many versions of, a pop culture character can you have?
Yeah.
But when something stands out, and there is, every year there's something great that just comes out and breaks new ground, or something that really inspires, and that's the stuff I have to have, and that's the stuff that makes me want to make it myself.
And will you ever like buy a toy like at a convention? Even like, let's put it this way: what's the last toy / statue that you bought? Not that was gifted to you, like, hey, since you worked with us, here's one of our things. Do you remember what it is? And
Bird Eater.
oh yeah, that's rad.
Yeah, that thing's
Komoda.
awesome.
Yeah.
God.
I actually found this. I'm trying to remember the company that makes them, but I don't know if you guys can see this very well or not. But
Yeah, they can see it. It's
looks great.
amazing.
Komoda, he's worked on, I think, the sequel to The Thing, a couple other sci-fi movies, special effects sculptor. He does a lot of work for Sideshow. He did that awesome Swamp Thing sculpture that won a Spectrum Award last year.
That thing's outstanding.
It's so amazing.
It's amazing.
Not
but
to mention that whole.
He seems to be one of the sculptors that anything that I can get my hands on that he's done, I will buy it.
Now you might know the answer to this. That Bemular that you have handy or nearby, usually that was a Paul Komodo one. That to me is one of the greatest toys ever made. If I ever see that, I'm buying it, no question. But did he do that whole line, or did he just do Bemular? Do you know?
No, actually, I think that there were a couple other sculptors that did other characters in that line, and but his were the standouts. Even though the other ones were they were amazing too. But his were a standout, and it's just the dude. I think I said it last time we were talking, is that he sculpts like he's sculpting in ZBrush, only these things are all in Sculpey. And I know he's using ZBrush now, so and doing some pretty amazing stuff right out of the chute.
Now, speaking of that,
yeah, it just blows me away. My stuff's not realistic. All my work has a little bit of stylization to it.
Yeah.
His stuff looks like, this Bemular looks like it's a little lizard that could be scurrying around your room. It's so realistic.
Now, okay, but it is stylized in its design. It's just not
to make him look maybe more realistic.
Yeah, because when you see that's something, and I'm glad you brought that up, because this is something I if I could ask any artist a question, it's usually the same 5 to 10 questions, because I feel like it's all I care to know about, and one of them is to do with stylization. Like, to me, I'm always torn, dude. Like, part of me always thinks you could get like way more gigs and like high profile gigs. And by the way, that's not to say that like some of the gigs I've gotten are not high profile, in respect to those amazing opportunities I've had. But like, for example, I would love to say that one day I did a movie poster that was like at a theater. You know what I mean? Or like I would like, you know what I'm saying? And so I don't think, I think that if I ever like focused on, realism, and I was trained as a realistic portrait painter and all that. So like I have those skills somewhere back there. I'd have to refresh, but if I focus on that, I would have different opportunities, but I still can't resist the desire to be stylized, and not only that, to be recognizably stylized. And when we get into looking at your sculpts tonight, I feel like that's the common thread that makes them more than just individual great pieces, but a body of work. Like, you have a portfolio of cohesive work, and it's because of that stylization. You know what I mean? So that's something that I think about all the time. Do you ever struggle with that, in the sense that like, should I go more realistic on this thing, or should I stick? Is there a Groman like aesthetic that you try to hit? Is it conscious? Sometimes I'm like worried that I'm hacking myself. Do you ever think about that? Like, am I just doing like a bad impression of my own work sometimes? Do you ever think like that? Are you mentally ill like I am?
But a lot of times it was just natural. It was my natural way of designing a character coming out of the world of Mad Balls and some of the other things I've done earlier in my career, that I just had a natural way of making things look a specific way, not so realistic. Even though my details are, I get really hyper detailed into the work, but the thing has, they don't look like a real living thing. They look like something that's almost like a cartoon version of a creature, a little bit more character to them and stuff. But I think as the years go by, I do find myself maybe having to force myself back into that.
Okay.
I mean, I did 3 concepts for the Cthulhu figure that I did for 52 Toys.
Yeah.
And they picked the one of the 3 designs. I tried really different, radically different versions of the same character, just because that's how I like to explore. That's how I like the concept. They picked the one that they picked. They said this looks the most like a Groman design.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
And which they all were Groman designs, but I totally agreed with them that the one that they picked was one that had all the trappings, the size, proportions that most people are used to seeing in my work.
Well, let's look at some of it. I think when we go into this presentation here, the best PowerPoint of all time.
Let me share the screen with him so
Yeah.
that he can see what we're
Oh my
looking at.
gosh.
There you go.
Drum roll.
I think you can see it now here. Meanwhile, shout out to everybody in the chat. I see Dope Pope is here. AJ from Kaiju Live. What up, Gordon Flynn? Florian Burtmer, dude. What's up, man? Colt. What up, Colt?
Hey,
Locke.
Florian.
Toy Addict. JP. What's up, man? Ryan Smith.
Yeah, Kaiju Live is here.
We have a distinguished gang. Chelsea, I see you. And I saw that Daruma mug. Thank you for that, Chelsea. All right, so check this out, you guys. Like, how amazing is this? Because I think, and tell me what you think about this, dude, that one of the most difficult designs to stylize and like kind of put your spin on is the Xenomorph. And as I'm saying that, I saw Florian Burtmer in the chat. He has one of the most beautiful posters, alien posters I've ever seen. And it's so different. His stylization, it's like this angle that he chose to feature the Xenomorph from. It's like a worm's eye view looking up as he's running through, the Nostromo or something with the smoke behind it. But he hasn't changed the figure, the form too much. He just chose this angle, and then his drawing style is quite beautiful. But when I see yours, I'm like, this is amazing how you approached it. Talk a little bit about what you were thinking when you were designing this guy, dude.
Well, I've always wanted to do the Xenomorph for years and years and years. I've gotten away from the desire to do anything that's movie perfect, like a total perfect movie replica of a character, just the way that Giger sculpted it or whatever. So when I got this gig and I was asked to do it for 52 Toys, which I was so excited about it, but then as much as I wanted to do it, all of a sudden I said, well, be careful what you wish for. I'm going to do the Xenomorph. And you're thinking of all those pipes and hoses and all the details they're fun to sculpt. But, this isn't ZBrush. This is like, I'm going to sculpt 2 arms that are basically almost exactly the same for both sides of the body. It's going to take a long time. So very, very intimidating. But I did just a couple quick sketches. I don't know if I sent those over to you or not.
Oh, yeah, we have more. Mm-hmm.
That was pretty much the first sketch I did.
We can go back.
Over to them.
Keep going. No, keep going.
Fox,
I think
who is now owned by Disney.
There you go.
And they approved that sketch right away. No changes or anything. And I just wanted to have fun with it. It was more or less. I went about how a lot of licensed things I've been doing in the last few years is I try to move a lot of details into the character that are almost like alluding to different scenes in the film. I have the chest burster in there. Someone actually saw the photos on Instagram and said, you got to get a face hugger in there. And I wish I would have found a face hugger in there. I think we talked about doing like a small egg or something that he comes with. So that might be coming. But there's the skull, Brett's skull.
I love that.
Of course, the inner tongue, mouth coming out. I just had fun with it. I tried to give him a little bit of character, a little bit of stylization, the Groman proportions, that kind of super deformed.
Yes.
Hulking, kind of bigger arms, smaller legs, just that kind of signature thing I've kind of fell into.
Now where did that come from? Is that what you're drawn to aesthetically? 'Cause I think the same way. Like for me, if I could have Frank Miller design everything the way he designed, Batman for Dark Knight Returns, I would have the whole of pop culture change to look like that. Everything. Like that's my aesthetic. That big, chunky, burly thing. So I see it in yours, and I'm like, is that something that you intend to do? Is that something that you consider part of your aesthetic as well?
Yeah, it's become an aesthetic. Mainly, part of it is functionality, because when you do a big vinyl piece, the legs have to be sturdy. So
yes, of course, that's
big,
smart.
Thick, chunky legs, and so that just kind of drives how everything else has to be sculpted. And also, it allows for you to make a larger head. I think if you look at King Corpse or Rotten Rex or any of the other characters I've been doing, the heads are very large, and the head, of course, is, any sculptor will tell you, it's one of the funnest parts of a creature to do. So it allows you to do this big, awesome portrait of whatever character you're doing. So I think that is partly driven by the style as well. But there's so many of these awesome Giger details in here.
Go back to the sculpt so we can see it there up close. Yeah, there you go.
And as much as I stylized it, I did. There's some, like that rib cage and his torso. It's pretty close to dead on, detail wise and everything.
You don't know this.
The pipes over the shoulders and stuff.
Yeah,
but
you don't know this, but I have a Xenomorph here with me. This is one of the McFarlane ones, which I know are accurate. So we're gonna count the ribs right now, and just make no.
Oh, now you got to look at the costume, because I had the costume. There's awesome photos of the costume online.
Yeah.
If they use the costume, I should be. How many do I have there? Can't remember.
Now, I don't want to say why this came up recently, but did you get any advice from 52? This is with 52 Toys you're saying. By the way, when is this coming out? Is there any release date info on it yet?
They just got the first 3D print. They sent me photos of the first 3D print, because we had to have the sculpture scanned and everything. There is no release date on this yet.
Okay.
I think they're really focused on Cthulhu, because Cthulhu is going to be the next one.
Okay.
That should be in the next couple months, but this is probably later in the year.
Okay. And what size is it going to come out at? Does it look like a 12-inch, 13-inch?
Yeah, I think it's going to end up being 10-inch.
Okay.
The sculpt is slightly larger, but it will. I was given the task of doing it at 10 inches, so I believe that's what the toy will be.
And I saw in the images, one of them has like the bubble head and one of them has the skull exposed. Is that something that in the figure it'll have like two different versions, or?
No, I was always intending on sculpting a head dome for something like this would be really time consuming and kind of a logistical nightmare. So I was always planning on having it built as like a 3D in ZBrush or Maya or something. So I sculpted it like this.
Okay.
And I did a Photoshop version of what the dome would look like when we sent it to Fox. But Fox wanted to see it on the sculpt. So I think there might be images of actually went in and sculpted the head dome onto it the way he would look with the head dome. But the head dome of course, is going to be, that's going to end up being transparent.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
That's great.
Dude, I love this so much, and it's again like this is one of those characters that you see done over and over in so many different ways, and when something jumps out at you, it's like instant success because it's an awesome design. It's almost like you're scared to do too much to it because it's perfect. It's a perfect design, dude. And when you change it, it's like, okay, you're gonna change. It's like saying, hey, you know how you like pizza so much, but what if we put the cheese under the bread and then the sauce in a cup? You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't need to redo pizza. It's perfect. So this alien Xenomorph is that. It's a reimagining of that classic iconic trope. But, dude, like you said, it's got that Groman vibe that we're going to see in these next figures, too. So I think we have Cthulhu next up.
Yeah, we have some questions from the chat.
Oh,
if you
yeah. Let's see. What do we got before we move on? Yeah.
Sure. Let me pop in. Let's see. Kaiju Live, it's AJ, right?
Yeah.
AJ wants to know if the art that we saw, that sketch that was there of the Xenomorph, is that going to be coming with the figure?
What do you think, James?
That would be interesting.
Yeah, no plans to do anything with that sketch. But who knows? I know when I did the stuff for DC, they actually took my concept art and used it on packaging. So
yeah.
I think we're still far enough ahead of the game. This is going to be, I was already told, this figure is going to be really difficult to manufacture. It's going to be a real challenge because of those awesome Giger details and everything. So it's going to be a while. I'm guessing the end of the year. But yeah, maybe the sketch will end up being part of the packaging. I don't know.
That would be cool.
I love it. And AJ just wrote, he just texted me separately to say if you could put it on a bath towel that he would like to wear around the house with nothing else. You know, AJ's crazy like that. So. Okay.
A little crazy.
Go ahead, babe.
But genius. Absolute genius.
John R. Price wants to know, do you have any update on when everyone will be able to see the Mondo Man thing?
John, we're going to talk about that in just a second, sir. So hold tight. Let's see what we got.
Oh, another question. How many points of articulation will the Xenomorph have? That's a good one.
James Groman, do you know that?
Actually, I believe it's just, well, I sculpted the arm and hand together. It's going to be up to the folks at 52 Toys how they're going to break it up. So I can't tell you at this point. Shoulders for sure, hips for sure. Whether or not the wrist will turn, I don't know. Because when they did Cthulhu, a lot of my characters they're broken at the wrist, so the hands rotate. But Cthulhu's not done like that. It's broken at the elbows.
Okay. Well, Toy Addict 26, sure. You can now report that each rib is articulated officially from James Groman.
Yeah. Endless budget.
Yes, exactly. All right, let's go and check out, because there's just so much good stuff. I could stay on this one slide all day. There you go. Look at that. Speaking of Cthulhu, so this is also with 52 Toys.
It is.
And this thing, in my opinion, is like, if you could only have one James Groman piece, I don't want to put one above the other because they're just so good, but I feel like this one has so much of your, like, everything great about your aesthetic and your technique in it, but it also is such an iconic stance, and it's got symmetry, and it's like just, and not complete symmetry, but enough that it feels like a deity almost. You know what I'm saying? It feels like a deity. It's great.
Oh man, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was a dream project in a year of dream projects, and it was the first thing 52 Toys wanted to do. And when I heard Cthulhu, I am a huge H.P. Lovecraft fan. I've never even drawn Cthulhu. That's crazy. So being able to design one and sculpt it, I even like some of my other designs. I probably should have put them in here because it would have been cool to see some of the other designs are radically different than this one. But yeah, I really just, I was in the zone on this guy. I just loved every minute of this. It's
fantastic. And when you're sculpting something like this, how do you decide, in other words, when I'm creating a composition in 2D, right? I have in mind where I want the viewer's eye to go first. And I try to emphasize that with, values and, darks and lights and all that kind of, and then, composition, angles and things like that. As a sculptor, when you're working in the round, do you think about something like that? Like, where do you want the viewer's eye to go, or creating shadow with form, with 3D form to emphasize a certain area? Is that something you think about at all, or is that not even come to mind?
I do, and I think that used to be more conscious than it is now. I think you probably have gotten to a point where some of that stuff just naturally happens. Your eye just been trained, whether you realize you're doing it or not. It just happens. But like with Cthulhu, I think I wanted it, of course, to go right into the 6 eyes on his face. So you can look at from the front view, the way that the wings fan out and the tentacles, everything just draws you right into his face.
Yes.
But I wanted that little hidden detail. I don't know if people notice it or not, but under the tentacles, I wanted to bring something new to the table. I know there's a specific description for him by H.P. Lovecraft, but I wanted to bring something new to the table. So he's got this big yawning shark mouth on his belly. And it's a secondary read. It's something
I love that.
And I want it to look like it was hidden. So by the time you're close enough to see it, it's too late.
Well, I love that idea. And it reminds me of like that old medieval designs where they have the face and the torso and the abdomen. That's like,
oh yeah.
Yeah. You know what? You nailed it, because the wings and the lines radiating in from the wings, they definitely frame and point like arrows into the face. And then everything, the eyes are on a diagonal going in. None of the mouth tentacles are perfectly vertical. They're all pointing back into the face. Everything, like you said, draws you right back in. It is Dude, this is it, man. Like, and now, okay. What do you got back there behind you, by the way? Before we move too forward, is there a Cthulhu back there?
Oh, there is. Yes.
Look at this. Can you give him the one, possibly, or a big? Let me see. Hold on, James. We're gonna try something crazy here, or just make that picture of him big.
I don't know if my lighting is very
No,
good.
no,
here.
that's okay. Just hold it close to the camera. Look at that. Oh, no, it got dark again. Hold it close to your head. Your head looks great. There you go. Look at that. Dude, I love that so much, man.
And I'm like a little kid when I first get these back from. Like this is one of the first pulls from the molds. I carry this thing around. I carry it into the bathroom. I carry it when I'm eating dinner. It's sitting on the table in front of me. I just stare at it, and that's when I start finding all the things that I wish I would have done that differently.
Yeah, do you think so? That's funny because when I got the Daruma, I got this prototype here, and Alexa just freaked out. When I got this mock-up of the Daruma, the resin prototype, I couldn't believe that I was holding something in my hand that had, been translated. Because I didn't even sculpt this, Part of me wishes I was sculpting it, but I didn't even sculpt it. So to sit here and look at it for the first time in 3D, it's just like you said. It's like you can't believe you had that this is a thing now. It's like it's no longer yours anymore almost, right? It's like it's out there. It's out. It's been in other people's hands. It's been adapted and transformed, and now it's like a child you're getting ready to send to college.
Yeah, and there's still that awesome feeling of someone that other people actually want this. That other people want it on their shelf and are willing to. A lot of times these get very expensive.
Yeah.
And they're in lotteries, and people are, trying time after time trying to get one. I'm not sure this is going to be a lottery. The 52 Toys is going to do this as a lottery or not. They may not. So
can you explain that a little bit? Because I think that's when I discovered or when I learned that about how people get your toys, it blew my mind. And I've mentioned it before, and I know there's some people in the chat who probably already know, but you guys need to hear this. And if you don't mind, James, like for example, I'll just say this. When I was sitting across from you at DesignerCon, I think it was last year, 2019, I remember watching a crowd gather around your booth, you calling out the winners and the losers. Well, by default, the losers knew who they were. And I saw somebody begin to cry because they didn't get one. Do you remember that?
If it's the person I'm thinking of, this may not be the same instance, but there was a young lady who was trying to get one for her boyfriend.
That's it.
And I started crying. I went over and I gave her a hug, and we ended up. I'm trying to think what he was trying to get. He was trying to get a Rotten Rex, I believe.
Yeah.
And
so, can you explain what that system is like, so that how she got to the point where you made her cry?
Well, she got a good look at my face. But, actually, when I was talking about the lotteries to get these, there's lotteries online that to get the new King Corpse releases, you have to get in a lottery online, and Instinct Toys basically they have a system for picking numbers, and they usually do releases of, I think between 30 to 60 units, and then there's a lottery to get those. So that's where people have a better chance of getting them, is even online, even though I hear a lot of people walk away disappointed. But at the shows, those are lotteries that I do for individual hand-painted pieces that take me hours and hours and hours. And that was something Mike Oliveris at Expanded Universe.
Oh, look, speaking of, I have
helping. Yeah. Is he there?
No. Well, no, but the Metal Sloth shirt that you drew and he invented, so I was like.
Oh, yeah. But he helped me with the first couple lotteries and everything. And then my daughter goes to shows and she helps me with them now. And Michael step in every once in a while and stuff. So, that's how I sell the individual pieces that I hand paint. But then, like, Instinct Toys, Play Toy Hong Kong, which I did the War of the Colossal Freaks figures. They do lotteries for when they do releases of the Gorgax figure that I did with them.
So it's a lottery. In other words, in this case, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, people flew in from across the world, literally, to get a chance to win a chance to buy one of your figures, which are, priced like the fine art that they are, because like you said, they are one-off paintings, like the ones that you are doing. They're not, you could get a blank one here and there, but you're doing a one-off painted version of these, so it is getting a one of one.
Yes, and they take me hours.
Yes.
Hours. Some characters more than others are more detailed than others, and so they take me a long time. But yeah, and I know a lot of people that come to the shows, they have like, a few artists that they're going to be trying to go to the lotteries for and everything. And sometimes people are coming specifically to get some of my stuff. Sometimes they'll be coming to try to get one of mine. Then they're trying to get something from, like Mutant Vinyl Hardcore or Paul Kaiju or something like that. Because a lot of us, we all do the kaiju, the monsters and stuff. So we have a lot of crossover with fans. But there are people that come specifically to buy these from me, and it's greatly appreciated. And it breaks my heart when you see someone who really, really wanted to get one of these and has to walk away empty-handed.
Well, it's so amazing, dude. But look, you can always take one of these pictures and turn them into an NFT now and make it a
Yeah.
Let's look at the next slide, because I know we have some more Cthulhu's to look at here. Yeah, so this is probably the scan, right, of the original sculpt. Yep. Beautiful. And I think there's a side shot as well. Yeah, look at that. These are great because you really get to see the crisp lit details as well. Beautiful stuff.
Yep. And this is a company I use they're in New Jersey, Cubo, and they do all the scanning. And once you scan a character, it's not perfect like this. You got to go back in and fix like voids in the scan, things that are imperfect. There's very rarely a perfect scan. So they do so much work on these, and they just do a beautiful job. So
that's great. And, someone in the chat, Odd Creations, sends a question, says, does James have any advice about sculpting? I know it's a giant question because it's like there's so much to answer there, and you could go on forever. But what I wanted to turn that question into is, for a beginner, I would assume it's like, sculpt a lot and get reference and work from realism as much as you can until you kind of have a grip on it, which is really the advice we give all students, right? Like, until you have a grip on what reality is that you can kind of work around and work with it, just stick with reality, right? And nature. And it continues to be a great teacher. Am I right there?
Absolutely.
And then the funny thing is, I will always wonder, and this is what I really want to ask you is, do you ever get asked sculpting questions from other professionals or veterans? And not like advice, but what are what kind of shop talk questions have ever come up, or do you at your level, do you ever, because I do that all the time. Whenever I meet anybody who I think is got a knack for something that I'm trying to get better at, I love to ask. They don't always want to answer, but do you have any questions that you ask or that people ask you from veterans, pros?
Not that I can remember. The first thing that pops into mind is, I think I mentioned it probably last time we talked, or maybe in another interview, that I had the opportunity to go out and work with Weta Workshop at one point. Through a job that I had, I met Richard Taylor.
Cool.
We became friends. And I ended up going out and working on the Battle of the Five Armies, the Hobbit film.
Amazing.
And I was in a van being driven around by Richard Taylor, who's the most awesome person on the planet. He's just a great guy. And we started talking about he had started working in Sculpey, and he was having some problems and was asking me some things about Sculpey. I cannot think of the specifics that we got into, but I just remember him going, "Oh, I never tried that." He said, "I got to try that."
That's
Thank
cool.
you for that. And so that's the first thing that pops in the head, because it just blew me away. And there was a couple other people in the van are like going, "Richard Taylor said that to you."
Well, that's perfect, because that's just it. It's like, I think when you get to a point where you're very confident in your ability in your career, you're happy to learn new things. It gets to a point where no one volunteers stuff like that anymore, because it's like they respect you so much, or they think that you know what you're doing, and no one would dare volunteer stuff like that. So that's probably refreshing in his case. Somebody, let's see, Jan Fitzy asked, while we transition to the next slide here.
But I was going to say one more.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
A bit of advice for a beginning sculptor is, and this was something that I heard it first from Steve Wang. It makes so much sense. And even though I don't follow that rule all the time, it is a great rule. And it's like, always look at your forms first before you detail.
Yeah.
It's all about the understructure and balance and symmetry, depending on what you're working on. but making sure all your forms, that means roughed out head, roughed out
Yeah.
arms, roughed out torso, make sure all that works first. Everything is balanced and composed and structurally sound before you start going in and putting every wrinkle and eyelash and strand of hair on a character.
Totally great advice, because then if you want to change something, you don't have to erase all your details that you spend hours sculpting, right? So
And
it's
I've
great.
done it, so yeah, you don't have to do that.
I love it. Yeah, I used to tell my students, think of looking through a camera lens, and it's fuzzy at first, but it's completely fuzzy, and then it all comes into focus together, little by little. You know, you don't see the arm getting clear, and then the head, and then it's like it all works together, right? That's great advice. So here's this picture you sent me that shows the Cthulhu figure all cut up into different parts. So I'm assuming, the head is removed from the body here. The arms and the head are separate. The wings. This is shows how you would, deliver it. Is this how it would be sent for scanning and such?
Yes. This is basically to get a cost for scanning. I will send these images to Kubo, and they will look at them, and they'll give me a price based on size. So I have the approximate measurements on there, and that's the breakdown of parts as I sculpt it. I like to keep it as intact as possible, and I try to break away parts as little as I need to. So that's why I kept the legs on the body. So it actually went to be scanned like this, but then when it goes to the factory, it'll be broken up. Whatever they see is going to be the best way. Like the tentacles on the bottom of the head is a separate part in the actual vinyl toy.
Oh, okay.
And the arms are broken at the elbow, which I thought they would be broken at the wrist. But I think it's because all the spikes on the arms, it was easier to break it at the elbow. And then, of course, the legs are separate. But the legs and the feet are all one piece, which is amazing that they were able to do that.
That's awesome. Yeah, man. And someone asked, let's see, Jan Fitz wanted to know if there's any word on what these will cost when they release. So we have the Xenomorph and Cthulhu so far. I don't know if you know that information yet, or if it's public yet.
No, they still have to be costed out because, I have not heard what Cthulhu is, and I will hear probably any day.
Okay.
Cthulhu's going to cost, because I think I did get like the cost of production and stuff like that in. I had that information, so I'll hear that any day. Xenomorph, no idea, because it's so early in the process.
It is, yeah.
But we'll be getting into the Mastodon.
Okay,
I think he's going to be just under $300.
Brilliant. Okay, we'll look at that now. So yeah, just so you guys know, if you want, here he is. If you want to get that information as it comes out, make sure you're following James online at jgroman60 on Instagram.
Yep.
Is where you're most active, right? And I know you were on Facebook as well. But real quick before we move on, Chris Reiniak, shout out. Hey, yo, amazing work as always, Jim, he says.
Hey, Chris. Yeah.
And Zachary.
Chris lives barely 2-3 miles from me, man.
I know.
Just don't enough,
Have you guys hung out socially distant during the pandemic, or are you just using this as an excuse?
We're both busy. He's fishing and stuff and getting outdoors and everything, but I've been chained to the desk. I've been doing back-to-back sculpts, as you can see here.
Yeah, man, you've been busy. Do you have friends? Do you have friends, or quote unquote? This is how I feel, by the way. There are certain friends that if they had reached out to hang out in a safe way, socially distant, backyard, 10 feet minimum, I say. Well, 6 is not enough. Some of them are very loud. Would you say, you know what, I would, but pandemic, even though knowing that you could do it, but you're using it as an excuse to kind of dissolve an unwanted friendship? And by the way, I'm not saying this is Chris Reiniak, but I'm saying, have you used that to your advantage? Because this is a good time to establish new boundaries.
Yeah, it is. I guess I'm not that much of a social butterfly anyway, so no, I can't think that I've used it to avoid anybody.
Well, if there's anybody you want to call out at any point during the show, just yell out their name. We'll keep going. But if it comes to you, just say, thank God for the pandemic, so I don't have to hang out with so-and-so. All right, so look, Mastodon. Now, who's putting this figure out?
This is Black Dot.
Black Dot, okay. This feels like it is a spiritual successor to some of your other figures. Am I right on that?
Yeah, he's definitely within the vein of the Walking Dead creatures from a past time scenario. So
yeah, like the King Corpse, the Rotten Rex.
Yep.
right? And then so this this is such a rad one because I feel like of all the awesome prehistoric creatures, the Mastodon doesn't get as much love as some dinosaurs sometimes, and so it's awesome to see him like this.
Well, it was good because one thing that I do, and once again, if I've mentioned this before, I apologize, but a lot of times if I am approaching a character, I've been told by, like, I teach, and other teachers will tell students, the last thing you want to do is go look at other artists' versions of this thing that you're going to be drawing. And I'm like, I'm not that guy. I will go and look at every version of something that's been done before because I don't want to repeat what they've already accomplished. And so I went and looked at every Mammoth Man that was out there. And there's a ton of them. There's a lot of artists that have these amazing concept art for Mammoth Men. And I thought that the zombified version of him was, of course, going to give it a little bit more of an edge against those. And then the weaponry as part of the hand. I think that was actually Naoki it was at Black Dot Toys was the person I'm working with there, and they had the idea of making a weapon that attached instead of the hand. And I thought that was great. And I had a design for the axe already, and when I started sculpting it, I was already in the midst of sculpting it, and I said, why don't I put some fossils in here?
So
it
good.
wasn't something that I originally had thought of. It was something that came to me while I was working, and I just thought it was going to give a little bit more visual interest to the axe hand. And
that kind of detail is what really excites me about the work. It's not just that it's detailed, it's that like narrative type of detail that in the axe you learn about the character, or in a belt that somebody's wearing on your pieces, you learn about the story. And as a kid, I felt like the Ninja Turtle toys did that really well. I felt like, especially when they got into the weird, like, 8th generation of mutants and they were just grasping at straws, they would do even more fun stuff like that. And I also felt like Blurp Balls that we've talked about in the past. So Mad Balls, people associate you with all the time, but I think you mentioned that you'd done a little bit of work with Blurp Balls.
Yeah, Blurp Balls, the whole line was they're all my designs. With Bad Balls, it was a number of artists that worked on Bad Balls. And no, I don't think any one artist can claim any one design.
Yeah.
So, maybe a couple guys can. But Blurp Balls those are all my designs.
That's the best, dude. And when I tell you that my brother and I carried our Blurp Balls with us everywhere, like a kid would carry his teddy bear. In fact, if as we're doing this, maybe Gabby on a separate tab, can you Google Blurp Balls? Let's see if we can pull them. I don't think everybody gets to see these that often, and I want them to see it. I think your camera went dead. Okay, just BLURP balls. Let's make sure nothing horrific comes up. Nope, there they are. Yeah, show this. This is it, dude.
There's the commercial.
Oh my god, dude! When I tell you, for me it was all about the T-Rex and the frog and the shark. Oh, well, we had the pig too. We had those 4. Yeah, man. And so if anybody ever wants to get a look and see, like, this is why 90s kids had it so good, because the toys were James Groman toys, dude. And that detail, when I go back and look at it, I'm like, and these are the Mad Balls.
And People Magazine named that like the coolest toy of the year, Blurp Balls.
Go back.
The year that it came out.
Yeah.
And I remember when we got the first prototypes, and I think even the toy ended up being like this, that you could tell me if you remember the same thing I do, that you could shoot one of those Blurp Balls out of one of those things and put a dent in a pop can.
Dude, yes, that was the best part, is that they were super fun. Like and we would launch them all the way across, and they were interchangeable. So, but yeah, going back to what I was saying is, like, when you looked at the back of one of these Blurp Balls, there was like details in the back, like fish hooks and like scuba gear and fun stuff like that would just, as a kid, I'm like, this is it. I remember my drawings. I gotta find my childhood drawings. I have them around here somewhere, one of them at least, that is directly influenced by this aesthetic. I remember being in like 6th or 7th grade, and I did a whole dentist office scene of different monsters at the dentist.
Oh, yeah.
And
you sent it to me.
I did? Oh, okay, cool. Okay, good. I'm glad. Because I'm telling you, I would look at these things and it would just make me want to. This is what we're talking about, making me want to make stuff. So yeah, okay, let's go back and check out the other sides, because believe it or not, we're not even done yet. So yeah, here's the man. So look at those. Oh, so now we're getting into the Hop Toys. And remind me, this is my Mad Monster, right?
It was my Mad Monster, and we decided to change the name and try to take it away from its obvious inspirations.
Yeah.
for obvious reasons.
Right.
And so, yeah, now he's just Mad Monster.
Oh, okay, good.
And this sculpture is almost totally complete. I completed the main body and everything the other day. That's some earlier pieces where he's got all that stitching and various Groman-esque details and stuff. But yeah, this was one that I actually went fishing with this. I wanted to do it so bad. I actually put up the drawing and said, boy, I'd love to make this into a toy. And sure enough, I got Brian Dole from Hop Toys got a hold of me and said, I'll make it right now. And so the rest is history.
God, so good, dude. And did you have a? I mean, I think I know the answer to this, but do you have a history with the influence? Can we say My Pet Monster? No one's watching this show. My Pet Monster. You worked on it, didn't you?
I did. I did more. The original My Pet Monster was designed by a gentleman named Vint Gonzer, who still is doing toy design. He's still an amazing toy designer. Did tons of stuff for Hasbro over the years. But it was designed by him, and it was kind of based on kind of a Muppety type of character originally.
I had it and I loved it. Don't say anything bad about it.
The idea was that it's like the little kid slept with the monster, and he protected you from nightmares and everything, which is a great concept. And I worked on the later versions that came out, not Football Monster, but there was a whole bunch done for overseas market and stuff, and they all had different face designs and stuff. And I got to design a bunch of alternative My Pet Monster faces. They're a little bit more rare and harder to find.
Well, these are outstanding, and just like the size. And do we know the size on this guy is going to be?
Yeah, he's 12 inches.
Nice.
Right to the tip of his horn.
I love it, man. And yes, and is this guy looks like the pre-orders are coming soon. Am I right about that? I keep seeing them pop up.
Yes, he's actually a Kickstarter, so a lot of them are already spoken for, but they did open up pre-orders. So yeah, this is good timing. He opened up pre-orders today.
And so that's Hop Toys. Now he's a Florida guy. Brian O'Dell, is that right? I think that's his name. I forget. But I just sold him a Godzilla toy. Funny story. But so
Brian Dole.
Dole, that's what it was, Brian Dole. But yeah, so this thing I think is gonna put. I mean, it probably already has put them on the map. But this thing is just iconic, massive, and it's got that. It ticks that retro box that people like reinterpretations of stuff that we grew up with. So I can't wait to see it painted up and everything. Are we gonna go with the traditional paint colors on this guy?
Probably not.
Probably not. Smart.
Okay. Yep.
Okay. I love it. I'm excited to see it in.
No more.
Yeah, man, I love it. Beautiful stuff. Now, the one that the chat was asking about earlier is up next. This is the Man Thing for Mondo, right?
Yes, it is.
And this, dude, now I want to go back and erase what I said before. If there's one piece that I've seen that's the most James Groman, it might be this piece. I love this thing, dude.
And next to it is a sketch I did just for fun, just to post online. And it was kind of the inspiration for the design as it exists now, even though I did push it even farther. But I love the character. We've talked about this. I've talked about this with the guys at Mondo too. That love the character. Mike Plug and Val Merrick did the runs when I was growing up on the comic. And he was his inception was right around the same time as Swamp Thing. And there's all kinds of stories on who came up with what first. But this was my favorite. Just being able, I was talking to Mondo about a number of different projects, but when they talked about Marvel and any Marvel characters I want to do, it probably surprised them that this was one I picked, but I just had to.
Now, did you ever see the movie?
Yes.
Okay, just wanted to ask. All right, next. So yeah,
exactly. It's an odd one. It has great atmosphere.
Yeah,
it really does. But it just is such a wrong take on the character.
Right. I think we'll eventually get it, dude. Let's see this. This is the colored sketch. Love it. Is this the colors that we're looking to get on the finished piece?
Yeah, they want to do one release that is just like maxed out color wise. It's going to be probably a costing nightmare, but maybe not. With washes and everything, but yeah, they want one that's gonna be in a version like this. They'll do blanks, and then we're talking about doing some other color waves. So they have a lot of plans for this.
I love the idea of having those tier options, so that if you want the ultimate piece, you want to pay for it, then good. But if you would just want like a bare bones version, then that's cool too. There's nothing wrong with it. I think it's fantastic. And I think we have pictures of the sculpt here. Yes, dude. Look at this, guys. Check that out, man. That is Badass, dude. I can't get enough of the silhouette that is formed with the tree. It's almost like he's got a smokestack. I love that so much.
Yeah, and that was one thing that I thought. I go, yeah, I'm going to have a tree actually literally growing off his back, and I think there's a little bit of that in even the movie version of the character. They did some vine work and stuff that's coming off the design. I have seen other artists that have done it and stuff, but I just, to me, it does. It breaks that kind of. He is slightly symmetrical, and it just kind of breaks that silhouette a little bit. And
yeah, it's the right move because he shouldn't be too symmetrical. He's super organic.
Yep.
Yeah. Damn,
one leg is a tree trunk, one with the snake wrapped around it and everything. It's just, I had a ball with this. And there's the hypodermic there that Ted Salas, who is the human that the Man Thing has actually grown from, is a guy who's developing kind of that super serum. It's the same thing that creates Captain America in the Marvel Universe. He's working on a version of it and has to escape from the bad guys and ends up injecting himself, hoping that he can become super powerful and save himself. But he ends up crashing into the swamp and becomes the Man Thing. And I wanted to have that as a story point in there. And so I had the hypodermic is attached to his arm with vines.
I love it. And I love the pose of the hand there. It's like you can feel him tensing up and flexing. It's such a good sculpt for that, man. This thing is so great. I cannot wait. Do we know anything about this coming out at any point?
No, it's literally, I'm waiting for a 3D print that I'm going to do the first pass at painting one to get ready get the factory ready. So yeah, it has not been costed out or anything yet. So
well, that's what I was saying at the beginning of the show is like, this is so cool because, we take for granted, I think sometimes that we get to see lots of cool stuff from our friends who are artists and making stuff behind the scenes that eventually comes out too much fanfare, but it's fun and exciting to see some of that behind the scenes stuff when it's appropriate to share. Because if you're a fan of this stuff, this is what like you used to get, like if you would buy Action Figure Model or Toy Fair or like magazines like that, they would show you a lot of that behind the scenes stuff. And I used to eat that up. I used to save my toy magazines, and so seeing stuff like this is just so exciting. Like, look at this. This would have been like a full page on a toy magazine. So this is, again, the breakup for the figure as well.
Yep. And this is was to get costing. And of course, having all the measurements in there. But you can also see how I'm trying to think if this is the first one. Yeah, I started using that technique where I'm making a armature that I can actually put the figure back together and he'll stand without support of any kind, just like a real action figure. I'm using that sleeve tubing that you can slide arms back onto the body and everything. And I think this is the first time I did that.
Okay.
And it worked out really well. He stands totally without any kind of support for the sculpture or anything, just like a real action figure. And it really helps when you're getting photos for approvals because you got to get everything's got to be approved.
Yeah.
Even before I show the sculpt, Marvel's got to approve it before I can show anything. And sometimes even then, companies don't want you to show it until it's getting ready to be released. But Mondo was kind enough to let people see what this looked like.
Awesome. Yeah. Shout out to them. They're always great about the production side. So, dude,
they're amazing.
This is a beautiful piece. We got to see Man Thing. We got to see Mastodon. We got to see Mad Monster. We got to see the Xenomorph. And then we got to see Cthulhu. So many pieces coming out in the next, in the near future and in the distant future. We have tons of stuff. So if people want to keep up with you, oh, look at this. Gabby put up a picture of you and I when we hung out at 5 Points. Man, remember cons?
Oh, I know. Yeah.
That was so fun, dude. Cannot wait to get back and do another one. Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
If anybody was wondering, James is 7'2", so that's why he looks that much. I'm pretty tall, so like when you see James next to me, that's why. But yeah, man, like it's so exciting. I strongly urge people to check out your work if they're not. I know a lot of people already know your stuff, but if you're one of the folks who don't know, follow James online. Check out the stuff he's doing with everybody. 52 Toys and Hob Toys and Mondo and Instinct, and there's always something kick-ass coming out. Dude, thank you so much for joining us, man. I can't wait to see some of these in person.
Yeah, me too. They're starting to I was doing back-to-back. I was a sculpting factory for a while,
Yeah.
and I was like, man, how am I going to keep the quality up? But I think the good thing was I ended up in the zone and I didn't leave the zone. And I did some stuff I'm really proud of, one after another. Yeah. And I'm starting to see the fruits of my labor. And I hope that everyone can get a hold of them. I hope they're easy to obtain. And
all the while being a teacher, right?
Yeah.
So that's a wake up call to all you lazy bastards out there complaining that you're only an artist, like me, complaining and crying about it. When I remember, dude, that shit's crazy. So congratulations, and I think I love that about you, especially that you do both at the highest degree. So thanks, man.
Thank you, man, and you guys take care.
Can't wait to see you.
Stay safe. Hope to see you in person soon.
Yes. Our first trip is actually, we're going to go stay at your house for the weekend once we get vaccinated.
Yep, that's it.
Yep, so cool. Pull out the cot. I'm going to stay in that.
Print making stuff and teach me how to make prints.
I'm going to stay in that room and touch all the toys. I'm going to take great photo shoots. All right, dude. Dude, thank you so much, man. It's such fun, and can't wait to see these in person. I'll see you guys later.
Bye, James.
All right, take care.
Bye, buddy. Woo! Fun.
That was great.
That was fun.
He's the best.
He's the best. So thank you guys for hanging with us. We have a little bit of time. I wanted to do a little bit of work here with those of you guys who are hanging. See if we can put on Art Cam real quick. Get some music going while I transfer to Art Cam, because I did promise it. And even though we had a extensive, fun talk with James, I do want to do a little bit, and maybe this will lead into something that we do on another stream. So
is your Art Cam primed and ready? I think maybe turn it on first so that we can Art Cam. How's everybody doing out there? I know I was very quiet during that. I just didn't want to interrupt. It was just too interesting hearing him. He's had such a long and successful career, and he keeps just killing it with the best toys. He's also the nicest person ever. And during the con season, we just kept calling him Uncle Jimmy or Uncle James? Because he was just the best. He just always made us feel so excited about everything, and just he has a very comforting presence, and he's just the best. So support him, follow him on Instagram. What's his Instagram? J Groman. At J Groman 60. I'm gonna put it in the chat. Follow James Groman on IG at J Groman 60. There you go. So you guys can go add him on your socials and follow me. Post awesome stuff. I need that Cthulhu. Yeah, man. Christopher Alacrone says I need that Cthulhu. I 100% agree. That thing is insane. It's so big. Did you see him hold it up to his head? It was massive. And it's so detailed. I love the shot of the big mouth on the belly. It's so cool that he thinks about stuff like that. It's just his brain works in such an interesting way for monster design. It's really awesome. He's just a great guy. How you doing over there with Art Cam? I see you struggling. You doing okay? Who's playing Animal Crossing? I know I talked about it last time. There was a big update today, so I'm really I'm actually sad that I can't play right now, but I do love being here with you guys. So that's a thing. The shirt link back up. Oh, the shirt link. Yeah. Here is the shirt link in case anybody wants to grab that while you're waiting for Peter to figure out how to use camera. And I'm going to see if I can help him out. Is it on?
It says USB connected. Yes, it works. Yep.
All right, give it a second. There we go. All right, here we go. Let's go to Art Cam.
I can get this to look good. Let's see.
Let me see if we can get it going. Hold on, give it a second. Give it a second. Is it on?
It did, but then
it turned off?
Yeah. Well, no, it's on. It just says webcam. But you have to do that activate thing again?
Yeah, I'll try that now.
Let's see.
We're getting this, guys. We're just using this GoPro. It's a little fiddly. But
so
when it does work, it works amazingly. But when it doesn't want to work, it's a diva.
There, now it should work.
There
Yay.
we go.
Okay, Let me see if I can get this.
Oh, somebody who's new to the chat. I don't recognize that name, McDrunk again, which is a very funny. Peter, have you seen the new Drusen's King Kong poster?
I'm not.
Is that for the new movie?
I haven't seen it.
Is that what you're talking about?
Let us know and put the link in the chat.
Yeah, so we can pull it up and check it out together.
Let me see it. Okay, so I did.
You did.
Hold on.
He did this little sketch, but you're not allowed to see it. You can only see his iPad.
I did this print
there we go.
recently, and some of you guys picked up the original block print. Some of you guys, stupid cable here. And some of you guys picked up the screen print version, which is this one that you're looking at right here.
Ooh, that's a throwback.
And let me see. And so this guy down here is this monster that I really like.
I love that
This
guy.
little like beast mount, and I wanted to explore him a little bit with his own kind of carving, a little bit bigger, play with the detail a bit more. So I was sketching it today, and I was thinking about doing it like a whole stream for it. But I think what I'm going to do is play with it a little bit as far as the sketch goes. Because when I talk to James Groman and I see all those cool monster designs, it just makes me want to work on stuff.
On monsters?
Yeah, it's what I'm going to do, like some
Specifically?
like specific, my own monsters and stuff like that. Because
Is there a reason why he looks like Tony?
no, I mean, that's definitely.
Or do you
an
think that's a
influence.
subconscious thing? You were just
Well,
like, I have to.
It's when I got Wonton, it's like he looked like the monster I always wanted to have as a kid,
That's
like
true.
a friendly little pocket monster,
A little gremlin.
like a little
A
gremlin.
goblin.
Mm-hmm.
That's what his name is. He's a gargoyle.
Right. Is that basically so? Like when I draw like that. I think because that's what I like to see. But it's no coincidence that when I see Wonton, I'm like, yep, that's perfect.
Yeah, it is perfect.
That'll do.
Looks just like it with the squinty eyes and everything.
Yep.
He's really good. Do we have a name for these monsters
Not yet.
and also the characters writing them?
No, and the characters writing them.
Is it 2 characters on there?
Yeah. There's well, no. This was a.
Or is that like a
I'm gonna
like
scrap this guy
okay,
here.
Okay.
But yeah. So like this is like a. For those who don't know my work, does it look okay? By the way, I can only see it tiny.
No, it looks awesome.
Okay, like you can see it, everything.
Yeah.
So like
You can move it a little to your, I guess, right?
this way.
No, to the left there.
Okay.
Sorry. There you go.
When I sketch something, this is the nightmare that I'm dealing with because I could very well just do a regular sketchbook sketch, and I could, I don't know, Oh, hey, what's up, Eric? I see Eric there.
Oh, hey, Eric.
I could easily do a sketch in my sketchbook, and I could work out all the details, but I just don't like to do it. I was doing some of it today, and I just don't feel like I'm getting the right vibe when I do that. So I have
You have to put it onto the linoleum.
Yeah, and I have to like draw it with a Sharpie. I didn't always used to be like this. I used to do these really intricate little paintings and drawings and stuff, but when I do it now, it just doesn't feel.
But you haven't really
right.
done that in a long time.
Do what?
Those intricate paintings and detailed paintings. Like, it's been a minute.
Also, I think that when I draw with a Sharpie, it's better. It's more indicative of what I'll be. Sorry, guys. It's more indicative of what I'll be able to pull off when I'm carving.
Right.
Because these are big, blunt, non-specific tools. I literally use big Sharpie. The smallest Sharpie I use is like this guy, and then I usually use this guy the most, and then I'll use like this big Prismacolor art stick, and I go back and forth with those. So I don't even use like a colored pencil often.
Do you ever sharpen that thing? Like, does it
No,
get sharpened, or
you
it
can
just stays
you can sharpen it
Oh.
because it's all like the pix
the part
pigment.
that's inside of
Yes.
the colored
Yes.
pencil, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just a big fat part of it.
Yeah, but again, like
You used to use because I remember finding them all around the house.
the what?
The white Prismacolor.
I have some. I do have.
But why did you switch to the stick and versus
Well,
the pencil?
Like I still have the pencil, and
Just in
so if
case.
I'm gonna go, like for example, work on this guy's little helmet, for example, right? It's a little bit easier to use the colored pencil, But then the temptation is to get really caught up in
the minutia.
the little exactly, and then I fall in love with the little details. But then when I'm going to carve,
Yeah, you like zoom out and you're like, oh,
yeah, well, and
it's
also
too crazy.
yes, and also I might even be able to pull it off as a carving, but then when you print it, it doesn't translate super well. So I try to make a design that I like a lot with these big chunky tools so that
Yeah.
when I refine these, they're still comfortable for printing. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
So long-winded way of saying that I can't draw with regular tools like a regular person anymore. That's kind of what I was getting at when I was talking to James earlier in the stream, by the way.
That
is
you
like,
don't do things normally anymore,
no, that like,
or that the process has changed.
yeah, the process has changed, and also like your style, like holding on to whatever makes you recognizable among other artists,
Yeah.
and then it's a struggle, dude, because I sometimes find myself like, okay, so the other day I was looking at like Florian. I don't know if he's still in the chat, but I was looking at Florian Burtmer stuff, and his stuff is so detailed, but not in like just to prove how well he can draw type of way. In the sense that like he creates texture in such a like beautiful way with mark making, and it seems so fun to be able to work in that regard that sometimes it just makes me want to sit down with a sketch pad and like, draw like that, even though that's not how I get the work that I do.
Right. It's almost like an exercise in futility for you because ultimately you're not going to carve like that.
Yeah, it's so strange. But then like in my head it'll be like, if that's what you got to do. You got to, you can't just only do this style. You got to be able to do that.
But do you think that I don't want to say every artist, every artisan, like anybody who does anything, a creator or whatever, that they have that feeling? Like,
I don't know. That's why I always ask questions like that, because I want to know. And I find out that it is common that that even the most successful artists will have different levels of insecurity, because the insecurities I have now are not the ones that I had.
But is it really insecurity or is it just a yearning to be also creating on another level?
Not insecurity in the way that like, is my stuff good enough? Insecurity in the way that like, should
I be putting this in my work?
More like, am I showing everything that I can do? It's not that I'm not confident in what I'm doing. It's that
if you showed everything that you could do, don't you think that means you would also spread yourself too thin?
Potentially, or lose the style. But
right.
but then for example, here on my wall, right behind where you're sitting, I have 3 different Scott Morse pieces. I have the pen drawing version, the gouache painting, and an ink drawing. Mm-hmm. I'll post these later on Instagram so you guys can see them. All 3 done by him. 2 of them done the same year. All 3 look like his work.
Yeah.
But they're totally different looking pieces. So sometimes in the sense that one's a ballpoint pen, one's gouache, one is just...
Oh, that's funny because, when I look at them, I guess because I don't have as keen of an eye as you do, but I see them and I just see, these are Scott Morse pieces. And like they're so recognizable even though they're different mediums. That's the point. But they all have the same basic signature kind of look to them.
The way he designs characters is his.
Yeah, like in that they're kind of chunky and scratchy and like they're not, refined. But they have their own level of detail that's a thing.
Totally. I don't know. It's just something that like, and it all boils down to, I like what these folks are doing with their artwork, and it just looks like fun. Yeah. And it like, I want to try that. I want to do that. Like,
do you ever just want to take a break from what you're doing and just be like, I'm just going to try that real quick? Like not like you're just going to take an hour out of your day and just try to do something like that.
I often think that I want to get to a point where I can like, next time we have like a quote unquote vacation, I play with sculpting again and see what it comes out like, or even ZBrush or something. I don't know, because sometimes I'm like, I want to design my stuff in 3D sometimes, because I have ideas for what it looks like from different angles.
You know what I really want to do? What? Speaking of that, I really want to get back into doing miniatures.
Oh yeah.
Because I've been watching a channel on YouTube that I'm really in love with, and they're making video game based and like pop culture based miniatures from like those universes, and I just.
Well, you're talking about the one where he builds the stuff from scratch almost.
Yeah, but those are miniatures. Right. He makes them.
Because you did kits.
I've done kits, which are still miniatures. Yeah. It's just pre-made, whereas.
And they're super like.
Yeah, but I want to do it almost the way he does. I feel like it's such a challenge when you're faced with how do you create this thing and what do you use around, because that's a challenge that this person does, is they go, what do I use around the house? Like, I'm not going to go out and buy anything. Exactly. I have to make it from and it's usually all made from trash from the recycling bin, which is genius. Yeah. Or like junk that you just keep around. Yeah. There was a class. Found object.
Yeah, right? There was a class when I was in college where you had to make art a whole semester with materials that you couldn't buy anything. Everything had to be found object.
Dude, that's so cool.
It is cool, but it's cool when you have like some skills already. Like it's usually
but can you build skills through that process?
You can build resourcefulness and creativity and craftiness.
Thinking outside the box.
Yes, but it doesn't always yield the best. Like for example, I would love to see James Groman do it.
Well, because
he's already got chops.
But he's also a master of form.
Right.
Like he can see the form and things. Like if you told me right now sculpt Bemular out of trash in the house, I'd be like, well, I don't even know where the hell we're gonna start.
Yeah,
dude.
it could be fun and cool looking and cute.
It could, and maybe there's something to that process of like, just do it because you know it's gonna suck, but it's gonna be hysterical.
Right.
And like try your hardest. Like you know it's still gonna suck, but try your hardest and see what you learn from it.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, McDrunk again says what you're doing right now looks like a Star Wars Mandalorian jungle mount.
Yeah, totally. You know what's funny? Whenever I see a beast mount, I think of two things. I think of the dewback from the original trilogy, but I also think
the Blurg
of a video game. No, I don't think of the Blurg. I mean, I love the Blurg, but it doesn't come to my mind. I think of Golden Axe. There's a video game that's called Golden Axe.
Yes.
And there was
oh my god, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Those like weird little chicken bipeds. In fact, I think the Blurg looks like one of the Golden Axe monsters without a beak.
I wonder if it
pull it up.
I should pull it up because I love Golden Axe. I had the one. I broke. No, I didn't break.
This turned into like a confession.
No. What actually happened was that my parents, God bless them, with 3 kids and very little money, got us a SNES. That was my first console. That's how old and or young I was in comparison to Peter. But
mine was a Nintendo.
Well, Miami is famous for its thunderstorms, and at that time it was like the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. We didn't have like the surge protectors, and a thunderstorm, a bolt of lightning hit near the house, blew a transformer and fried our SNES. Like literally, I think we had Super Mario Brothers for maybe a week, and we had just gotten Dr. Mario.
Oh yeah.
And we were so stoked, and it fried the SNES. My parents couldn't afford another one, so long story short.
So you turned your SNES into a Golden Axe beast.
No, long story short, that Christmas we got the Sega Genesis.
Oh, that's right. That's where it was.
And Golden we got the only thing my parents could afford was the Sega Genesis that came with the cartridge that had the multi. It was like a multi cartridge that had Sonic. It had Golden Axe.
Did it have Golden Axe 1 or Golden Axe 2?
No, 1.
Golden Axe. Yeah, okay.
It had Golden Axe 1. It had columns. It had
so you remember
Streets of Rage.
Oh yeah,
dude, it was an incredible. We would just gobble up those games. Those were magical times when you would play the shittiest game for hours on it, and it didn't even matter.
Yeah,
it did not matter.
It's funny because like now some of them don't hold up, but at the time we played it for hours, dude.
Oh my god, what an incredible game!
But yes, the one I was gonna tell you. Give me the music back.
I put it on. I'm looking for the beast from Golden Axe.
Yeah.
Oh, here it is. Here it is.
This is what I think about.
Oh man, so good, dude.
This is what I think about. See if you can zoom in on that.
Hold on, let me turn Gabby Cam on and turn.
Oh, you can move yourself back over. We don't need. There you go. There we go.
Let me see if I can get a bigger picture of this. Oh no, it's gonna take us to YouTube. Oh no. Did you hear the sound?
Yeah, I like that. Todd Raymer says, "What's happening, crew? Look at Gabby and what appears to be blinged out headphones. Aren't they sick?"
They were a Christmas present. They're the Bose ones, and I've wanted them for years. And Peter finally
Pugglewog.
got me. What?
Somebody said the name for the beast should be Pugglewog. I fucking love that.
I really like that.
I'll write that down.
Oh, Billy's here. Hey, Billy. We miss Billy. Billy Fowler's
what up, dude?
Look, he says he's been struggling with wanting to incorporate thicker line weights into his own drawings, which are incredible, by the way. Go check out Billy Fowler.
If you guys don't follow Billy Fowler, man, he's got some of the most beautiful character designs out there, and they're like instantly recognizable as his work.
Look, by the way, look, there's I can't zoom into it because Google hates me, but let me see if I can open this image in a new tab.
That's interesting that you say that, Billy.
Look.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah.
That's exactly what you're doing right now.
Those are the butts.
Yeah, but you can kind of tell the form with the big, tail or whatever.
Yeah, I like how tiny they are. Like they're being stressed out by those Vikings riding them.
Because the Vikings weigh like 500 pounds. These poor creatures.
Yeah,
That's why they're so ill-tempered. Anyway.
I love it.
Let's see what else. Todd, Golden Axe Forever. Let's see. Yes. Oh, there's a new Streets of Rage game?
They've released.
Or is it like a remake?
Yeah,
Chris, tell me. Oh, Colt, Pete's drawing up a like zoomed in version of he wants to know what you're making.
Oh, so yeah, for those of you guys who if you remember when I did. Oh yeah, sorry. Wait, hold on.
Uh-oh.
If you remember this Takaro versus the Space Yeti print, at the bottom, I had this little beast mount guy, and I always meant. By the way, I kind of like that recliner he has behind him.
I know.
Isn't that funny?
Did you do that on purpose?
I just wanted it to.
We love our couch.
Yeah, I just wanted to be clear that it was like a long range traveling creature.
You know what that reminds me of? Of all those movies where you have people riding on like elephants or mammoths, and they always have a huge like throne to sit on when they're on top of those things.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like if you were gonna ride for a while, you'd probably get some comfort saddles.
Like in Lord of the Rings or Hobbit, one of those where they're riding the mammoth. I think it is Lord of the Rings.
Return of the King.
Return of the King.
Yeah,
Remember they have those massive structures on top of the mammoths? Yeah. That's what it reminds me of.
So yeah, well, I wanted to. Like, I've been wanting to like revisit this character like more close up and detailed. So, I've been working on him. I was working on him today. I like that
slow reveal of you pushing away the iPad to reveal the linoleum. That was good. Yeah, I like it. He looks like he's in more of a battle pose in this. Is that what you're going for?
Yeah. He's like moving. He's on, a little more dynamic.
Yeah.
And he'll have like a little weapon here.
Yeah.
These guys, I'm just trying to come up with like a nomadic warrior design for these guys, and I haven't like settled on it yet. But for now, we're using this guy that's kind of like a mix between. I get like Shredder vibes for sure.
Yeah, definitely Shredder vibes.
But then I'm also I want it to feel like one of those 80s action figure knockoffs that you would get at Walgreens. So it kind of reminds you of different ones, but it's not one of them in particular.
That. I like that the tail reminds me of a tadpole. Is that on purpose?
Well, that's new because the original one was like a little fuzzy tail.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, like in the original. Let me see.
Oh, here comes the iPad again.
Here comes the iPad.
Well, there's no way to know what that really is, right?
That's okay.
You're just making a suggestion of a tail.
Yeah. Well, anyway, like every bit of Takaro artwork is pre-alpha status, so it's like
100%.
It's like so everything is like concept art in the open, like public concept art, and I think we're gonna keep a lot of stuff. But Colt, no, I don't think we're pre-ordering one tonight. 'Cause I'm not done carving it yet, but I think I will carve
eventually
it and print it on an upcoming stream for sure. Mm-hmm. It's just that I wanted to do some Takaro verse stuff, especially because you guys have been asking for it for a while, and I would normally have this thing sketched out already and then carve it with you guys, which I'll probably do in the next stream. But I just wanted to like show you what I'm working on and all that.
Yeah.
But we did. But if you guys are interested, we did drop a new shirt.
We did. I'm gonna put the link back up in the chat. Yeah. There's a new shirt out. If you guys want to, it's
you
the
should
Warhog.
Save the image or just pop it up again.
I have it. I'll just pop it up again. But there's a couple of questions in the chat. Let's see. Dylan Young wants to know, what do you suggest someone who has an idea in their head and they want to articulate it with no prior art experience? That is like isn't that the most question that you get? Like, how do I get started?
Well, it's like if you have an idea for like a character design or a story, it's two different things. But if you have an idea for a character design and you just really want to see it, I would say try to find some artists online that you really like, that are kind of like at a stage in their career where they're available for like little private commissions and stuff like that, and I would pay them to design it for you,
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. In fact, there are times, to be honest with you, Dylan, that I want to pay other artists to draw Takaro.
Yeah.
Because I want to see what they think of and like what they emphasize and what they ignore, so that I can get feedback almost on the design.
Yeah.
It's like if I said, man, if I could have James sculpt one, right? But that's an endeavor.
Right.
But even if he sketched one out, or if Billy sketched out Takaro, or if Florian did a Takaro drawing, if Chris Reiniak did a Takaro sketch, anybody else doing it, I don't need them to do it. I can draw it myself. But I'm interested in seeing another artist interpret it to give me feedback on what they gravitate towards. You understand?
Yeah, wait, pause.
Yeah.
Look at the shirt.
Oh, yeah.
I just put it up for you guys to see really
Can you
quick.
Zoom in on it?
I
know it's big in the grand scheme of things.
See if perhaps I can pull up the
link.
link.
Like what if you click on it? It won't give you a pop-up?
Oh,
there you go.
But here it is. Oh, the black one is awesome.
Yeah, there's a black one and a white one.
Yeah. I like the new logo too.
I like it a lot.
It's a very understated attack feeder, but I like it a lot.
Yeah, I like it.
Everything about this shirt is awesome.
It's cool. I dig it. It's how I like shirts to look, like a big box with art on it.
And it comes in white too.
Yeah,
if
there's a
you're
white
one of the
version.
white T-shirt type of people, and it has that red logo here at the very bottom.
Yeah.
That I think looks awesome. I personally like the white T-shirts.
Yeah.
I know I might be in the minority there, but I think that they
Well, you
have
also
so much
have
contrast.
a lovely a figure to flatter with
I
white.
understand.
Some of us are not as fortunate.
I know it's not the most flattering
Black
color
T-shirt
for
gang.
everybody. I know, yeah. Look, I like a good black T-shirt
I'm
too.
kidding.
In team colors.
Team colors.
But you know, white is just so cool and contrasting.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, I'll get away from it.
But I like it. But yeah, if you guys want to pick one up, it's there. There's 4 Warhawk print pre-order spots left if you guys want one. If not, I will probably close the edition out at 46, which is fine by me. But if you guys want one, we'll still have 4 spots available.
Let's see.
Thick Boy Club.
Colt.
That's right.
Wait, Colt said, I can new one is so good. I can appreciate his desire for maximum comfort. Yes, that guy looks very comfortable. Wait, did you take away his recliner on that?
I don't know if I'm going to put it on.
Now you have to.
No, I don't have to. Not everybody has to have one.
Recliner club.
Maybe the other guy had more like...
Maybe he was like a higher up.
Yeah, or he spent more money on his saddle. You know?
Adrian Soul says he grabbed that print.
Oh.
Looks like he bought the last one. Which print?
Which one? No, there's 4. There was 4 left when I think.
Adrian, let us know which one you're talking about because I'm confused now.
Evan
Let's see.
Morse.
Odd Creation says it has vibes of the creature that comes out of the closet in Evolution movie.
Oh, I love the Evolution.
What
Did you ever see
movie is
that?
No, I haven't.
You
seen
would
that.
love that.
Really?
David Duchovny.
Oh.
I
do love me.
Julianne Moore.
What?
Julianne Moore?
Oh, okay.
And I can't remember his name. I think it's Orlando Jones, maybe Orlando something. He was in everything in like the early 2000s.
Oh.
I don't know if it's Orlando Jones. Guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but hilarious actor. And those 3 are.
Oh, is he really skinny?
Yes.
Orlando Jones, like super skinny.
Not Orlando Bloom.
That's not who I'm thinking of. I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about. The Jones last name is what.
I think so. But anyway,
don't know.
if you see him, you're like, oh yeah, that guy. He was in everything for a minute. But anyway, it was like a fun X-Files meets Ghostbusters vibe. And with aliens and like really cool designs. It might be dated CG, but it's fun. It's fun, so he gets away with it.
As if we don't watch Star Wars and Alien all the time.
Yeah.
Super outdated.
No, but this is that. You know, we talked about this the other day. How like Alien 3 is in that weird part of CG history, where it's like early CG, and it just doesn't age well. Yeah. It's like, so I think it might be in that time, but I remember it having like practical prosthetic effects too. So.
That's
I used to watch
the key,
it
right?
all the time. I used to watch it all the time.
Blend CG and practical and see if you can get away with it.
It's highly rewatchable, man.
Let's see. What about Colt says? What about some spikes on the tail like a Stegosaurus?
I had put this in here, and I wasn't sure if I was gonna make it spikes or like kind of like.
No, I kind of like that it's almost aquatic.
That's it's kind of like more
it's amphibious.
Yes,
amphibious.
like here. It would have like a solid tail line, and then here it would have like a broken up one that is not spikes.
It's not spikes.
It is to be like an amphibious swimming tail, but it has that vibe of spikes.
Like it could be potentially.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I like that. People seem to be excited for the shirt. Somebody says that their entire wardrobe will be your shirts pretty soon at this rate.
Dude, same here, Evan. It's funny because I have so many shirts of ours that I like to see them in person and make sure like.
Yeah, Peter exclusively wears his own shirts now. Today is such a rare treat that he's wearing a shirt. I'm wearing
James
not
Groman's
his.
art.
But it's okay, man. Rep yourself. Who cares?
Yeah. I mean, at the same time, like I make stuff that I like that I would want to wear.
Right. So why not wear it?
Yeah. It's also part of why I wanted to do a logo that it doesn't fully say Attack Peter on it.
Right,
I wear
so you
much
could like low key wear it now.
Yes.
Well, yeah, but if you wear your own stuff around town, no one's gonna know. Like, oh, look at Peter wearing it. Nobody knows who you are.
No, first of all, I do not have that stigma. I like wearing my own stuff.
Oh, okay, good.
I love it.
Well, that's good.
I just sometimes feel weird about my name on my own shirt.
Because nobody knows that's your name.
No, but we bump into friends.
Anybody.
We bump into friends.
You could be John.
Yeah, but we bump into friends.
The friends already know that you are who you are, though.
Yeah. Well, I like it, but sometimes the design of the fully written out name is too much for a design too. So like having an abbreviated one,
I agree,
kind of allows other parts of the design to like take the center stage. So there's a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hear you, man. Thank you, by the way, Evan. Though I really appreciate that.
Well, speaking of Evan, he wants to know. He says, "Mr. Attack, can you tell the class about your time with GDT?"
Oh, Guillermo del Toro. I think I
Oh
mentioned
my
this.
god.
I wonder if I have those.
Are we going to talk
pictures
about
handy.
this?
Yeah, yeah.
The whole story? Even the embarrassing parts?
Well, we can see how far we get into it. But yeah, I don't know where those pictures are if they're handy, but you can find them on my Instagram or whatever.
I'll see if
But
I can pull them up.
yeah,
while you tell your story.
essentially, I worked temporarily. I didn't get paid. I was volunteering at a local zine called Lo-Fi Magazine, and I wrote articles for them. And basically, I worked for free as a way to like be able to talk to artists and creators that I loved. You know, with a reason to talk to them. Like, you know, there's no reason for Eric Powell when I'm 19 or 20 years old to sit down and talk to me for an hour. And that's how many questions I had.
No one wanted to
worth.
talk to him for an hour.
Yeah, no one wants
Not
or
even
should
nobody.
talk to me for an hour when I'm 19, especially.
I'm joking. I wanted to talk to you.
When I'm 19?
We were working together when
That's
you were
true.
19. No,
No, a little older.
I was 19.
The point is, like, yeah, we're like the same age, though.
No one wanted to talk to me at 19 either.
Right.
That's fine.
So imagine us. Yeah, exactly.
So if you're here and you're 19, just remember we
no
don't
one
want
wants
to
to
talk to you.
No, kidding.
I tell my students that all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to talk to
Yeah.
you. You're 19.
But yeah, so work volunteering for the magazine. I could say, hey, can I interview for you for the magazine? And the best thing was the magazine was beautiful, man. It
It
looked.
was really well put together.
I have copies of
I
it
know.
here.
I almost threw them away when we moved.
You
But
can't do it.
I realized that no, that's not it.
Look, I have 'em
can't
here.
do that.
Here's
on the
one.
Arcam. for
Here's
everybody to see.
Arcam. Okay.
Put 'em on
Here's
Arcam.
one of them. Oh, in that case,
In that case, let me take
I'll do
advantage
a quick
and show
brag.
you
Yeah.
everything.
Now look how cool this is. So, this was the first issue, and this is how nice it looked. Like it's full color. This is like mind you, it's like 2001 or 2.
Mm-hmm.
So back then, this was a big deal. And there's a local zine, put together like comics, pop culture. So in the first issue, I did an interview with Eric Powell, which I have this artwork. But look at this. We talked forever. And the same issue, I got to interview Guillermo del Toro. And now I only got to interview him over email because back then, this is 2002, the Hellboy movie hadn't come out yet, but I was on the Hellboy message boards. And
message
he
boards?
would jump in on the message boards every once in a while to talk about, nerd stuff and Hellboy stuff and all that. He was super cool, and just like a regular nerd. And so I just messaged him one time on the board saying, hey, man, would you be down to do an interview? I didn't expect him to write back. But he said, yeah, but it has to be by email. If that's okay. I'm like, yeah. So I sent him 9 questions. I think 9 or 10 questions. It was short. And he wrote back. Look how much he would write back. So you can see that's a full paragraph response. And that was awesome. And I was happy already with that. But then I got a phone call from him the next day. Or not the next day, the day before Hellboy the movie was coming out. He calls me randomly and I pick up the phone and it's his unmistakable voice basically asking me if I wanted to go see a premiere of the film that he had going on in Miami for Latin American press. And I said for sure, so I went. And then he calls me again to see if I wanted to go eat dinner with him and tell him what I thought about the movie. And I said, of course. And I went thinking it was going to be a big press dinner, but it was just me, the girl I was dating at the time, and surprise dinner guest, Ron Perlman. Imagine that shit. 4 of us at one of the most expensive restaurants in Miami. I was shitting my pants, dude. I don't know. I think I played it cool, but we were there 2 hours talking, hanging out. He was giving me what he wanted the next Hellboy movie to be about, and it was crazy. It was so amazing. But the funny thing that Gabby was referring to is that a little bit of backstory is that I have a friend who introduced me to Guillermo del Toro movies in the early 2000s, and he's also a great prankster and a funny guy. And long story short, I told him this story about when I was a kid. I met Dave Grohl, and when I grew up, and the second Foo Fighters. This is so annoying and long. The second Foo Fighters.
It's so annoying, but it's so good. And I'm glad that it's gonna live on YouTube forever now.
The second Foo Fighters album came out after I met him. This is how long
How
ago.
old are you again?
14. And when the album came out, and the song "Hero" was on it. And I'm like, I used to think, I wonder if he wrote that song about me thinking about him at the time, my hero. Like, what a stupid ass sentiment. You know what I mean? Like, what a dumb. But I knew it was stupid, and I confessed it to him, one of my close friends at the time.
That was your mistake, confessing.
As joking around, and so all that is a setup because when I'm sitting at the table with Guillermo del Toro and Ron Perlman, okay, I decide, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna call my good friend Seth, who introduced me to Guillermo del Toro movies, and I'm gonna put Seth on the phone and say hi to Guillermo del Toro. Big deal. Person. And so I put him on the fucking phone, and this motherfucker, instead of saying "What's up, love your movies," he says, "Ask Peter about Foo Fighters."
And that's it. You had no choice at that point.
And I swear to you, I got instant cold sweats. I felt like diarrhea forming in my stomach. It was so fucking awful, and I had to tell the story. And him and Ron Perlman laughed. I'm like, "Why would you think that song was about?"
You don't get it. I know that it wasn't.
I know it's and it was very humiliating, but I got the last laugh because then I got to visit the set of Pan's Labyrinth, and then I didn't call Seth from Spain. You fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just remind everybody.
That's the story. But there's a couple of pictures of it online if you want to look up.
I couldn't find them on
They're there somewhere, but if you go online on my Instagram, you scroll down, there's pictures of me post dinner. I think I can pull them up here. Let me see.
I tried to pull them up on your Instagram and I literally could not find them.
It's there. It's just
I don't know when you
buried
posted them.
low, like way.
So
Here,
long
look.
ago.
I got them right here. Give me art cam.
How did he?
Yeah, art cam. Okay, there you go. So that was me. Look how fucking thick boy I was with those chops. Look at that shit. Am I overexposed here on the camera?
No, you're good. Everybody can see your chops.
Yeah, look at that chunk, bro. That's why I can't wear
Those
white
are healthy
t-shirts.
days.
The healthy boy days. But there's a young Guillermo del Toro and
Ron Perlman.
Ronaldo Perlman.
Ronaldo.
Ronethius Perlman. How fucking cool was that, dude? And you have to know, I was like the biggest, and still am one of the biggest Hellboy fans out there. So that was fucking mind-blowing. But then, check this out. I got to go to Spain and visit.
How long
the set.
after that dinner did you get to go to Spain?
It was like the year before Pan's Labyrinth came out. So 06, 05. So
5 years
it was
later?
like 4 years apart, 3-4 years apart, maybe.
Right.
So fucking cool shit. So it was worth the embarrassment. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, man. Funny story. I did an interview with Mignola after for the same magazine. I have the cassette tape where I spoke to him on the phone for over an hour.
I know, but transferring the cassette tape to digital, my God.
Why not? I'm sure there's a device.
Ow.
There's like a device you can buy.
I'll figure it out.
I just never think to actually do it.
Yeah.
And if you're a Ben Templesmith fan, he launched his comic, what the fuck? Wormwood. The first ever appearance of Wormwood was in the back of Lo-Fi magazine, and I fucking brokered that deal, bro. Look at this. Look at this shit. First ever appearance, Wormwood. He even thanks Lo-Fi in the trade paperback. So there you go. And the moral of that story is just fucking do whatever you got to do and pretend to be a writer if that's what it takes to get in.
Fake it till you make it. That's the ultimate fake it till you make it.
I had no shame, you guys. I really wanted to be here.
That's the whole thing.
I wanted to be at the party.
Right, exactly.
All right, you guys. So I think, let's see what time it is. I think we can go a few more minutes, but then I'm going to wrap it up. I just wanted to show you guys the sketch and give you kind of like a little tease as next time. You like that, Colt? The next time, everybody's like, that's amazing. Yeah. I've suffered a lot, you guys.
I like how you're showing the YouTube feed on our YouTube feed. It's
Oh,
very
am I
meta.
doing that?
Yeah.
So I can see, because I can't see it in the...
We can see everything.
But yeah, like it's oh, you like Wormwood? How about that, seminal designer? I helped broker the debut of Wormwood.
All right, settle
Because
down.
no, it's true. It's true because he couldn't, from what I remember, either he didn't want to give it to a company at the moment. He wanted to own it, so he didn't want to publish it with anybody, or nobody would put it out. Something weird like that. How else would we have gotten it?
How did you get that printed so nicely?
That was the owner of the magazine had connections. Oh shit.
Oh, it's gone forever now.
With a printer back then. But yeah, that was at the time that was impossible.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, it's a funny story, you guys.
You're full of those.
Full of weird stories.
Full of weird stories.
I've never been ashamed to get embarrassed in public.
That's for
I've never been
sure.
embarrassed to get embarrassed. Or
We've-
I've never been scared of getting embarrassed. I get embarrassed all the time.
We'll find some more embarrassing young Peter stuff to show next stream. I think we should have a whole segment of just what did Peter used
I
to
think
do?
next stream I'm going to carve this
Wow, I
or
played
print it.
twice the Sun music in the background.
I'm either going to carve this or print it. And then I can tell you this, the day after our next stream, Because next stream's on a Thursday, like always.
Yes.
The day after that stream is going to be a very fun announcement on another stream. I'm not going to say which stream just yet, but you should probably be subscribed to the Skybound YouTube channel.
2 weeks from now.
No.
Next week.
Next week, Thursday, we have our stream.
Oh, and then Friday.
The immediate day after, Friday.
That would be Friday.
Yeah. I'm going to do... Is there a bug behind you on the wall? I just left.
Let's not talk about it. If it is there, let's pretend it's not.
So the day after, I have another surprise stream with a surprise announcement.
I know what it is this time.
This time you know what it is.
The last time I was like, what is he talking about?
I was so scared she was going to reveal it.
How could I reveal it? I didn't
It's
know
not
what it was.
Godzilla, Greg Lunzer. It's not Godzilla, but you're in the ballpark. You'll never guess it. You'll never guess it.
No, it's impossible to guess.
But I can tell you're in the ballpark. And I can tell you, it is a first. It is a first for me.
It's a first for everybody.
Maybe
not.
I think it might be a big first, but I don't want to say it just yet. I got to double check. But it is a first for me.
I love how the automatic assumption is Godzilla. Has to be Godzilla.
I am missing Godzilla, Greg, so we might get back there sooner than I thought. But
wait, what was the last Godzilla thing you did?
Son of Godzilla.
That wasn't that long ago.
No, but that by the time I
you hadn't
it,
actually done any Godzilla stuff. Yeah.
But I had said that I'm gonna wait before doing too much more Godzilla.
You need to move your camera because you're off screen.
Sorry.
There you go.
I was gonna wait before doing another one, but take a little break. But I'm already missing it, so we'll see.
Do another one.
We'll see. Hey, we'll see.
Do you have the license to do unlimited Godzilla stuff?
I don't have a license to do anything, but Mondo has been very kind to tell me I'm welcome back when I want.
That's what I was.
Yes.
That's more what I meant. I know you don't have the Toho license.
But yeah, so it's there.
Shin would be cool.
But then you guys are only gonna like me when I do Godzilla stuff, and then you're not gonna like my other stuff.
That's your thing now.
I don't.
It's Godzilla and Takuro. That's it. Don't do anything else.
No, I'm doing something.
That's not true. You're doing something very, very cool right now. Yeah.
But then I see that's another thing. Where if I don't do Godzilla, is everybody gonna still like the Mondo drop that I might be working on? You know what I'm saying? Will they still care? Will you be there?
Is this a Spice Girls song?
No, I was thinking hold you, buy my Mondo poster, and then will you love me? Remember that Free Willy song?
Oh my God. Yeah, now I do. I had erased it and now it's back. Thanks for that.
All right, so here's a little sneak peek. Tell me.
No, nobody cares about your sneak peek. Everybody cares about what I want next.
Tell me.
A Bemular print.
Yeah, but nobody's.
Who holds the license for that?
Subaraya is the company.
And is there somebody who has it?
People are doing it.
Stateside?
Marvel's doing Ultraman comics right now, but I don't know. They haven't reached out. No one's reached out to me with Ultraman stuff. I would love it. I love it.
Maybe you just make the Bemular print for me.
Yeah, a tiny Bemular.
And nobody else.
A one of one.
I want you guys to know that Bemular is the mascot in this house.
Dang, I thought I was.
Chris Alarcon says that song was hot fire.
All right. So I think we're going to wrap up. Here you go, guys.
Yeah,
check it out.
It looks pretty good.
We're at sketch level. I still have to do some cool patterning here to make his belly interesting. And I kind of want to give him some little wraps around his wrist and elbow. Maybe he's got some wounds and stuff like that. Who knows? Or for strength, when you're always running, you want to wrap your wrist. That might be a cool.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I like that idea.
I like that.
Like little linen wraps around his little joints.
And we'll see where I go with this. But either way, this is the next thing I'm going to do on the stream. We did the Daruma print. And if I print it on the stream, it'll only be available on the stream. This is super short.
Short sale? Is that what it's called?
No. I don't know what it's called. Short sale is something for a house.
It's like a real estate something, I know.
But yeah, it'll be a little tiny edition just for the live chat.
Yeah.
So if you guys want one, swing by. Hopefully for next week, I'll have this ready.
That would be nice. Oh, Gator Belly.
What is Gator Belly?
Christopher Alarcon says make it a Gator Belly.
Oh, when you think the lines are coming up. Yeah, that's a good one too.
Yeah.
Go with that. We'll see.
What does a Gator Belly look like? It's striped,
it's got
checkered almost.
Pull it up.
This is Peter being an old art teacher. Pull up the reference.
Pull up the reference.
Alligator
belly.
Let's see. Browser scene.
I love the name Puggle Log. It's cute. Has to be taken. Oh yeah. Like a scaling pattern.
Okay.
That
That
could
is
be
pretty
fun.
cool. I like that gradient, almost like the big chunky scales and then the little ones.
Little scales, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Hey, who was that? Chris Arlecone?
Yeah.
I go with it.
Good job, dude.
Let's do a gator belly.
Do a gator belly. Is that like do a barrel roll?
I don't know what that is.
Gator belly. You don't know what do a barrel roll is?
Mm-mm.
Guys, he's canceled. Cancel him. Cancel culture. Cancel Peter. He doesn't know what do a barrel roll is.
Just got edgy.
Yeah, real edgy, real fast, and just like that, we're gone.
All right, you guys. So I'll see you guys on next week's stream. Where comment writer would be awesome.
Comment writer would be awesome.
I'll see you guys on next week's stream where I will finish carving / printing this guy. I assume he'll be just limited to whoever's in the chat and wants one, so it could be an addition of one.
Could be.
Could be an addition of none.
Could be an addition.
If it's an addition of none, I insist that you go buy one.
That I will go buy one? Like I have to physically?
Like secretly on the side go, one just sold.
One down.
Off the schneid.
The schneid.
The schneid. That's like when you have, that's like a sports reference, like when you are like.
Oh, I thought you were having a stroke.
It's like when you have like 0 points or, you haven't made a basket or you haven't like hit the ball or whatever it is and you finally do it. Okay, he's off the schneid.
What is a schneid?
I don't know what it literally, I don't know the etymology.
You're not allowed to use it unless you know the etymology.
I don't know.
Because then you can't explain it properly. It's a schneid.
You don't know the etymology of any
word.
What is
that, like a unit of weight or something? It's a schneid.
2 schneids worth of accomplishments.
He's got 1 schneid. He's doing great.
If you don't know we don't know the etymology of any word that we use most times.
That's not true.
What's the etymology of true?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
What's it? Okay.
Fair enough.
So in that case.
Yeah, but schneid is not a common word. Schneid, we're gonna make it common.
The Schneider cut.
The
Schneid cut.
Schneider cut.
All right, you guys. Thank you so much. I hope you had fun. Go follow James Groman and all his antics online. And if you enjoyed the stream tonight, hit like and leave a comment. Those kind of things help the stream like do better. Where's the outro music?
You want an outro music?
Yeah, we gotta keep it going to the end. And then that way we'll, it helps the stream do better. It's like, doesn't cost you anything and it really helps us out a lot. If you hit like, if you click subscribe, if you put a comment, all that stuff really, really, really helps. So thank you for hanging with us again. This is good outro music.
Yeah. That's why
bookends. It's like a bookend.
It is a bookend.
That's how we start. That's how we end.
That's how we end too.
All right.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, it was good hanging out with you guys as usual. Thank you for
check out the shop. I'll throw
it into the chat again.
Yeah.
So what do you don't even know
It's so many links that I use.
It's bit.ly/attack Peter merch.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah. The shirt's there. You can pre-order the Daruma. You can get one of the last Warhog prints. So much cool stuff. And like I said, next week, carving, printing, and special announcement on Friday. There might be a print release on Friday.
Make sure you're following Peter. Make sure you're following Skybound
on YouTube.
On Instagram, on all the socials.
It's gonna be lit on YouTube.
Go do your YouTube homework. Yeah. You know what it is. Follow us on Instagram. Follow YouTube. Follow everybody. Yeah. Go follow James Groman.
Follow James
Groman.
Yee.
Because we said so.
Yee.
No, you don't get to use ye. You're too old.
Ye schneid.
Ye schneid.
Schneid. Ye
Bye,
old
guys.
schneid.
See you next week.
Off the schneid.
Bye.
Off it. Schneid.